You don't have anxiety. You have feelings. Somewhere in the last few years, the way we talk about our feelings completely changed. If you're annoyed, you're triggered. If someone disagrees with you, they're toxic. If your parents ask where you were last night, that's controlling. And if you're nervous before a test, you have anxiety. Now, I want to be careful here because I'm not saying those things aren't real. Anxiety is real. Trauma is real. Toxic relationships absolutely are real. What I'm saying is this: the words that got way bigger than the things they're supposed to describe. And that's actually making life harder for a lot of people, not easier. So let's talk about it. This language did not come from nowhere. Words like boundaries, triggers, trauma, gaslighting, these were all clinical terms. They lived inside therapy offices used by professionals to describe very specific things. Then, over the last several years, all of that moved onto social media. And honestly, on its own, that's not a bad thing. More people understanding basic psychology is a good thing. The problem is what happens when clinical words get used casually by people who weren't trained in what they actually mean. Here's a real example: trauma, used to describe something specific, an event that completely overwhelms your ability to cope, often involving real danger, and that keeps affecting you involuntarily afterward. Now it gets used for things like an awkward conversation, a bad grade, someone not texting you back. And I get it, those things feel bad in the moment. Here's what's sneaky about it: when you call every uncomfortable feeling trauma, you're telling your brain that a normal amount of discomfort belongs in the same category as something genuinely dangerous. And your brain, it starts treating it that way. The discomfort gets bigger, not smaller, because you've told yourself it's serious. Same thing can happen with the word toxic. That word used to describe a pattern, repeated, manipulative behavior over time. Now it gets applied to one bad conversation, one disagreement, one time a friend was in a bad mood and snapped at you. Every person who's ever hurt your feelings once gets filed under toxic. You're eventually going to run out of people because everyone has bad days. Everyone says the wrong thing sometimes. Everyone disagrees with you at some point. That's not toxicity. That's just other people existing. Now, here's the part that might actually bother some of you, and I'm okay with that. Sometimes, using this language isn't really about understanding your feelings better. Sometimes it's about avoiding something. Think about it. If a friend says something that hurts you, you've got two options. One, you actually talk to them about it, which is uncomfortable. They might get defensive. You might find out it wasn't really even about you. The other option, you privately decide they're toxic, slowly distance yourself, and never have the conversation at all. The second one feels better in the moment, but the issue never gets resolved. The friendship quietly dies, and you never build the skill of actually working through conflict, which, by the way, is a skill you're going to need for the rest of your life in every relationship you'll ever have. Same thing happens with anxiety. If you're nervous before a big presentation, that's not a disorder. That's just what nerves feel like before you do something that actually matters to you. But the second you label it my anxiety, you might start treating the presentation itself as the threat instead of just a normal hard thing that nervous feelings are a completely normal part of. And then you start avoiding presentations because my anxiety can't handle it. When actually, what you were feeling was normal. And the avoiding, that's what turns into a regular nervous feeling into an actual avoidance pattern, which is much, much bigger of a problem. Now, and I really mean this, none of what I'm saying means just get over it or stop talking about your feelings. Actually, anxiety disorders are real and deserve real treatment. Actual trauma is real and deserves real support. Some relationships really are toxic, and sometimes the right answer is to walk away. If what you're experiencing is severe, persistent, or getting in the way of your everyday life, please talk to someone, an actual professional, not just a label you found on TikTok. What I'm talking about is everything in between: the normal discomfort of just being a person, nervousness, disappointment, awkwardness, a friendship with one rough patch, a hard conversation you've been putting off. Those things don't need a diagnosis. They need you to sit with them for a minute, maybe have an uncomfortable conversation, and move through them. That's not a flaw. That's just what being alive feels like sometimes. The real risk of over labeling everything is that it quietly convinces you that you're more fragile than you actually are, that every hard feeling is an evidence something's wrong with you, instead of just evidence that you're a normal human being having a normal human experience. And the more you believe that, the more you start avoiding anything that creates those feelings. Fewer hard conversations, fewer new situations, fewer people, because all of it gets filed under things I can't handle. Your world gets smaller, and you don't even notice it happening. So here's the question worth asking yourself if the next time something's bothering you: is this actually one of the serious things? If so, talk to someone about it: a counselor, a therapist, a trusted adult in your life. Or is this just a normal hard feeling? The kind literally everyone has. The kind that doesn't need a label at all. Just a little time. And maybe an honest conversation with the person involved. Most of what you feel this year, it's going to fall into that second category. And that's not a bad thing. That's just what it feels like to be 17 or 19 or 22 or 85. Figuring things out as you go. You're not broken. You're just a person. And that's enough. If this video made you think, drop a comment. I genuinely love to hear what you land on. And if it's something that you needed to hear today, share it with someone else who might need it too. Thank you.